Mufasa the Lion King is directed by Barry Jenkins and is the prequel to the 2019 remake of The Lion King. Mufasa is the origin story of Mufasa. It follows Mufasa and his adopted brother as they must go on a journey to protect their home and their loved ones. I'm going to be honest, going into this movie, I did not know what to expect. On the one hand, Barry Jenkins is a fantastic filmmaker. Moonlight was fantastic, If Beale Street Could Talk was great, and he's also bringing a lot of his regular collaborators with him onto Mufasa. But I was also nervous about Mufasa. I really did not like the 2019 remake of The Lion King. It just felt devoid of personality or anything that made the original special, and the trailers for Mufasa did nothing for me. Essentially, my enjoyment of Mufasa was going to depend on how much of it felt like a Barry Jenkins movie. Let's start with the animation, because believe it or not, these aren't real lions, but they look fantastic. They did in the 2019 movie, and they do again here. They genuinely feel real, and they do a really good job of building the environment around them to make them feel even more grounded. However, they do make one adjustment in regards to the animation, and it is a very welcome one. One of my big complaints with The Lion King 2019 was that the lions didn't emote. There was emotion in the voices, but the facial expressions and the body language just conveyed nothing, so it was very jarring, it did not work. But here it very much feels like they listened to people and they have made a conscious effort to improve upon that. In Mufasa, the lions do emote, they do have facial expressions, they do convey body language, and this just makes it instantly easier to emotionally connect to these characters. So I'm really glad that they heard people out on that one. Also, the cinematography is beautiful. It does genuinely astound me that they didn't shoot in real life places, because the way the film is shot, again, it just feels real and like you're there. Mufasa the Lion King is at its strongest when it feels like a Barry Jenkins movie. There are some strong themes here of loss, brotherhood, betrayal, and the best moments of the movie are the quieter and smaller moments where it deals with those things. When the film goes into those smaller moments, they can be powerful. I think the chemistry between Pierre, who plays Mufasa, and Kelvin Harrison Jr., who plays Tucker, is excellent. You get the sense that these two characters genuinely care for each other. This being a Lion King movie, it's a musical, and the songs here are written by Lin-Manuel Miranda. I have to say, I am a huge Lin-Manuel Miranda fan. I love Hamilton, I love In the Heights, the music in Encanto's really solid, and I really like the new songs he wrote for the Little Mermaid remake as well. So it hurts to say this, but the songs in Mufasa are hit or miss. Now, I don't think any of the songs are bad, so to speak. I'd say there are two in particular, which are really solid. But generally, the music is quite forgettable here. There are only 6, but I would say the majority of the songs aren't particularly catchy, and I don't even remember what many of them are called. I would probably say my biggest issue with Mufasa is the second act. The second act of this movie is needlessly dragged out. What this movie does for the entirety of its middle portion, most movies would show that in one montage scene. It genuinely feels like the second act is just here to get this to feature length. Now, that's not to say there aren't interesting moments within it, but for the most part, the journey they go on in the second act does not feel like it required anywhere near as much time as they gave it. Now, there is a big plot twist here, and if you've seen The Lion King, you know what that plot twist is going to be. However, I'm not going to spoil it for anyone, so I will dance around it. This does involve evolving a certain character. I have to say, the way this was done feels really unearned. I understand it absolutely needed to happen, but the way they did it did not work for me. It felt way too rushed, way too quick, and the reasoning for it just does not make sense knowing the things that come later. I do wish they would have used the second act more to explore this, but they don't at all. This comes in the third act, I'd say. Because of this, the third act, especially the final 20 minutes, I have to say, I found really underwhelming. I really had a sense of, wait, that's it? Here's what I'll say about Mufasa. It is absolutely an improvement on the 2019 Lion King movie. There are some really strong elements of it, and what I'm most relieved by is that I don't think this is going to harm Barry Jenkins' career in any way. But with that being said, it's just an unnecessary prequel. It just ends up constantly reminding you that it's living in the shadow of its much better original source material. I'm going to give Mufasa the Lion King a C+. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. You guys are awesome. Blu-ray Billy, logging off.